Yes, that is what I told you before. If you're thinking about being a teacher, then please watch out because eoco will be out to grab you. Before we start, I'll announce all the social media tools that you need to get in touch with the show. Facebook.com/JoyNewsOnTV. You'll find us there. Like every post that we'll put there, we'll amplify your voice by sharing it with the rest of the world. At JN Interactive GH, at Joy News on TV, at MN Toure. 3 Twitter handles ready to take all your tweets, retweet your thoughts, and share what you're sharing with us with the rest of the world. Joy News IM at multitvworld.com. That is our email address. You can also send your comments and your feedback to us. We will take it and share it with the rest of the world. 054-010-9009. That is our WhatsApp number. Whatever you send to us, we will also amplify your voice and share it too with the rest of the world. And as you already know, JN Interactive is where tech meets news to set the agenda. So the Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Education Service, Parker Alote, says it has referred the case of 120 teachers sacked in the Upper Manya Krobo for using fake documents to get jobs with the Education Service to the Economic and Organized Crime Office, which is eoco. And the fake teachers were found out after authorities realized schools in the district had actually been performing poorly over a number of years in the basic education certificate examination, which were conducted by the West African Education Council. Some of the teachers are actually said to have just, been possessing only BECE certificates. And Pakalote said the GES was also investigating the matter and will make its findings as well as its sanctions public very soon. So let's start with a little background about the work of eoco, just in case you don't know. So I'll delve into the issue. eoco, which is the Economic and Organized Crime Office, is an independent government department which is operating under the superintendence of the Attorney General. And the objects of the office are actually to prevent and detect organized crime, generally to facilitate the confiscation of the proceeds of crime. And it was established by an Act of Parliament and entitled as Economic and Organized Crime Office Act 2010, and it actually operates in line with its statutory purpose and policies. And this is to lead a unified national effort to fight economic and organized crime by, number one, detecting, investigating, preventing, and prosecuting all serious economic and organized crimes in Ghana. And two, develop and sustain an effective approach to combating economic and organized crime in the country. 3, developing partnerships with domestic and international agencies to combat economic and organized crime, and then providing safety and security for our community and financial markets in order to ensure an investor-friendly atmosphere, rendering organized crime unattractive by taking away the proceeds of crime from organized criminals. So, with this background, do you actually think this is an issue that should be referred to them? I intentionally gave you the background, if you didn't know, so that it will form the basis of our discussion today, that with all the things, the mandate of eoco, does this fall under the ambit of what they ought to be doing? And also to ask, shouldn't the GES be thinking about enforcing its systems to detect these crimes? And we also want to think about what recruitment structures are in place at the GES for basic school teachers. And if these systems were effective, I am pretty sure that all of this that happened wouldn't be happening. I also want to find out, shouldn't the GES be looking inward rather than external? That I am pretty sure that this was an inside job and that there are people in there who are facilitating or helping these people to do what they are doing. So do you get my drift? I am sure you get it. I'll take a quick break. When we come back, you will be giving us your thoughts on social media. And our cameras have been around, as they always do, to get your thoughts also on this subject in our video blog. Please don't go away. So, welcome back, and I know you remember all the questions that I was asking you, whether this was even a job for eoco in the first place. And I'm going to throw in a little bit of a theory. You know, the GES can actually organize your own investigations and come out and tell us that this is how we found out whatever had happened. But once you employ the services of eoco, I don't know what would happen, that being a state institution and this involving another state institutions, perhaps they won't be using any money for all of these investigations. It will be internal. Government would absorb it, and so no monies will be going anywhere. But if money were actually going somewhere, it then does suggest that the Ghana Education Service will be taking a ball part of money and then handing it over to eoco and say, do this job for us. Does this look like a job for the boys for you one way or the other? You know, I don't know, but I'm throwing it to you at home. And I'm expecting feedback on that. You have all our social media addresses. You can send them in as separate comments. I just want to understand your theory on this one. But first, we will start with comments that have been dropping on both WhatsApp and Facebook. I'll take Facebook first, and then when we come back, we've been around and we've been asking you. But what we are asking you on Facebook is whether this is a job for eoco in the first place, and if the Ghana Education Service shouldn't actually be looking at their internal structures. You are actually siphoning out every nook, every cranny that can cause a problem for them. Just plug all the holes so that this won't happen. Comments have been dropping in. I'll start with Y says, I'm here to read comments. Interesting. So rather than commenting, you're waiting to see what people are going to say about this. Very naughty. Jeffrey Jefferson Quenu says, I do not support this eoco thing. Left to me alone, eoco should investigate the officer in charge who recruits these people. Is GES telling us that their system does not allow them to trace the authenticity of certificates of teachers? Marian, I tell you, there are hundreds of such people everywhere. So perhaps I should start counting and give you a score later. When one says there's no job for eoco, and Kuma just says Ghana for you, meaning what? Kuma, you haven't said anything. Ghana for you means that what? Status quo, everything is normal. That's what it is here in Ghana. Abudu Tahiru just says, ha ha ha, Ghana is really interesting. Christian Salvo says, well, I think that when it comes to security and investigations, eoco is very keen and expert in that. Therefore, GES referring this fraud people, teachers to them is a step in the right direction. As for Ghana Education Service, they must be very cautious about the way they appoint teachers in our education system to teach the future leaders, and the Ministry of Education and the National Security must also cooperate and work together to drive all those fake teachers out of our system. Abdullah Abdul Razak sending this in from Tamale, and you say, this is so disgusting to hear. Anyway, GES must learn to allow their own solve their own problems, sort of looking for the solutions elsewhere. However, I believe our leaders in the education sector must be up and doing, because education is the key to national development. Awake GES. Patrick Redu. eoco must prosecute them together with those who manufactured the certificate for them, and also the one that employed them without verification. Though these persons did this with good intent, we must set good examples. Shall we then allow fake doctors, architects, and engineers? Absolutely not. Wrong is wrong, no matter how you look at it, and must be corrected at all cost. Abdul says, what a system. Roland says, very interesting. Roland Yabua, Ghana, any justice is like pregnant woman and birth. You slow, very slow, I think. It's high time it is adjusted. Paul says, oh, really? This case will end up bringing nothing. Ethiopia government for you. Kudo says that is a camouflage. They should rather arrest the employees, because that was where the genesis of these fraud and corruption started from. Abdul Razak says, Ghana, I love your mess. Keep it up. You're naughty. Benjamin says, hope there will be fair justice to the kids. God save Ghana. And this, you're sending this in from Sunyain. Seidu says, this is another negligence in the education service. Cisse says they will investigate them and get those who took money from them. When they get them, they should rather be sacked. Oops. Baba Musa Tamale. The law must take its course because crime is crime. Teaching profession is a noble one, and if a group of miscreants want to tarnish such hard-won reputation, it is only proper to deal with them appropriately and fairly. De Soto says God is never mocked. What a man sows, he reaps. Galatians 6:7. Rose Love says the one who employs such teachers must also be arrested. He collected money from them, I guess. Crad Julius, interesting Ghana. What a country. That is Ghana for you. Nana Kwachi says Ghana at its best again. Who employed these fake teachers in the first place? Don't we have internal and external auditors in the education service? Marian, systems really working in Ghana? Let the service deal with those who employed these teachers. Okay, there is definitely a high unemployment rate in the country, and some people will try to survive, come what may. Systems must therefore work to check these weaknesses. I will hold off on Facebook now and take some of your WhatsApp comments that have come in whilst we take your video blogs when they do come in. And okay, let's refresh that and give you your WhatsApp comments. And I'm hoping that today you have written your names. Yes, you have written your name. This one says, I think GES must change its ways of recruiting teachers. There's too much human interaction in order to be employed. However, eoco should come because it is one of the institutions which is less corrupt. And I would be glad if there is a total investigation and cleanup in various districts. There are lots of ghost names in education of fake teachers. And this is coming from Hayley. Thank you, Hayley. And this one is coming from Zach Yendi. And you say GES may lack the expertise and capacity to investigate this. So you think that based on their lack of expertise, eoco will be the best to deal with this. Sacking them is right, okay? Another way of spending state money, and that's what you're thinking, bringing in eoco. Abdul Rashid sending this in from Tamale. And this one is coming from Akolgo. Marian is so pathetic in Ghana now, but in my candid opinion, all these issues arise due to economic hardship in the country. Okay, I guess. And this one is coming from Zainab, and Zainab says, I vehemently agree with you, Marian. GES should do a serious internal body screening. Okay, you don't think they should go to eoco, and most of you think they shouldn't go to eoco and that they can do the job themselves. This one is coming from Ishmael from New Iberia. Does it mean GES can investigate the matter themselves? I pity our country. God help Mother Ghana. Ooh, that is harsh. Pity party. Okay, and this one is coming from Fawaz in Abuabo, and you were saying, I think GES should investigate their own offices instead of worrying Ghanaians. It's from their own office. Believe me, such teachers are all over Ghana. Ghana is a shame on our system. Yeah, it is a big shame indeed. Let's see what, and this one is coming from Abdul Malik. These fake teachers shouldn't be victims alone, but should look for those who recruit them. So we've been around and we've been asking what you think about GES actually referring this matter to eoco. What is your thought on that? Let's take our first video blog.
I don't think this case should be investigated because since the teachers were caught with fake certificate, it means already they are not qualified to teach, so they should just allow the teachers to go, and maybe they should go for training and have the certificate. When they are qualified, and they come back to teach. Otherwise, the eoco should just ignore this case.
Right. Eoco handle the case is right for them to handle because everybody and his work actually in Ghana, right? Besides that, hence it's not easy to go to school to obtain certificates, right? People used to spend a lot of money paying school fees, right? So some look at the situation and say, oh no, I have to have some shortcuts. There are always shortcuts in life, right? So they think I have to do this, do that, to get something that will take me like let's say that thing will take somebody like 10 years, 15 years to get that thing. That person is thinking, I can use, let's say, just a month to get that thing, right? So that's all, some people are trying to practice. And I think if eoco handle the case, it's going to, reduce the level of, some teachers using fake certificates in Ghana. So I think it's right for them to handle the case.
I think they have to handle it because if you are a teacher, we expect you to impart some kind of knowledge into the children. So society expects you and sees you as a role model. So if you are possessing a fake certificate, that means you don't have anything to offer to the generation. So I think it is an issue that must be looked into by eoco.
It's fair in a way and it's unfair in a way. It's fair in a way that some of them have the experience and they don't have the certificates, and sitting at home they can't cater for their families, so they would have to do something to earn money. If only they are teaching the children the right thing there, I think it's fair. But sending them there, it's okay. They should go there. Maybe when they tell them what their problem is, they can be considered, and they'll give them the chance again.
Right. Yeah, so most of you are thinking eoco was a bad idea. We'll take a final comment. See you join us so we can wrap up together. And this one is coming from John Abam says, I think eoco has something to do with it because it's about economic issue. But I ask, if we are complaining of lack of teachers, why do we sack them? And didn't allow them to work by teaching and impacting knowledge before collecting salaries. GES should come again because I see the dismissal as needless. Really? Okay. Richard says, is Paka Aloto himself not on retirement? Shame on you. He's not on retirement. He has outlived his usefulness to the GES as far as PR work is concerned. I get bored anytime I listen to him. Richard, show we Belinda says GES has nothing good to offer Ghanaians. All they do is stop officials, ghost names. Were they not the same people who employed those fake teachers? What a country. Ferguson, so how come they never realized this for a long time? So what are the supervisors paid for? He and the employer should be questioned on this one. Final comments, we wrap up. Apam says, I am shocked at the level of malpractice in GES, ranging from teachers teaching students in exam halls, from primary to higher institutions, bribes in offices from directors, even to where chalks are shared to schools. Now the latest is teachers using false documents. Let them be dealt with anyhow to serve as a deterrent to others. Charlie. Okay, that's where I drop the curtains on this Friday's edition of your most, can I call it your most authoritative or your most interactive? Yes, we are the most interactive show this side of the world on TV. Thank you so much.